Awesome.
Oh, awesome. Well, again, thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview. I've been a longtime fan of yours, and to see a full-blown solo album coming out so soon now, it's just awesome to be able to talk about a different side of your personality musically here.
Cool. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've just received my first copy, so it's definitely happening now. So yeah, it's only 12 days away. I can't wait to hear what people think about it.
Well, I can definitely say for me, I love the style that you're going for here. I love all the influences that I'm hearing. The lyrics are very hard hitting in particular spots. Swan Song in particular is a song that like struck me so hard the first time that I heard it lyrically, and
Uh-huh.
uh, and of course all the guests that you have on here. The fact that you have a song about Dracula X is just incredible. I mean, I love everything that's going on here.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I have to admit I agree with you. Quick question about Swan Song. A few people have spoken to me about that song in particular, and do you think that song is a sad song or a happy song? Just wondering.
It kind of feels like a mix of both to me. Like I think it could be interpreted either way, is the way
Yeah.
that I've gotten the impression of it.
Okay, so it's kind of bittersweet sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Because yeah, for me, the lyrics on that are probably the heaviest lyrics we've got. And it was kind of written from a sad place, but it's funny to hear different people's interpretations of it because yeah, other people have said this really uplifting, and I'm like, that for me is a sad song. So yeah, just curious to hear what your first impression was, but that's cool.
Oh yeah, when I first heard it, I really heard that dark feeling behind it. But then on subsequent listens, I could also hear it from the other perspective as well, where
Hmm.
it could be interpreted as a more uplifting song. And I guess it does
Yeah.
come to the ear of the beholder as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. No, that's cool to know.
Oh, totally. So, with all of that said, what was it like to start writing for this album?
So I mean, the main songwriter on this album is actually the keyboard player, Shaz D. So he's sort of the mastermind behind most of it. The only song I wrote, sort of start to finish, was the final track, which is the Japanese track. The rest of the songs uh, were his compositions that I then decorated with vocals and choirs, and then obviously as the process went on, adding lots of things, guitar solos and the occasional drum fill, stuff like that. So yeah, it was cool. It was a very streamlined process, really, because a lot of the songs were already golden before I even got to touch them. So yeah, it was just as things are these days. It was just a case of sending files to each other, bouncing lyrical ideas off each other, and just slowly like fleshing out song by song. But yeah, it was fun. It's the first time I've really been a part of that process, as opposed to just sticking my voice on top of something that's finished. So yeah, this album feels a lot more personal because a lot of time and effort has gone into it, and trying to make all the themes kind of cohesive and make sense. And yeah, really proud of the final result.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that too. I mean, it's always great to be able to spread your musical wings in different ways, shapes, and forms, and being able to add some of your own flavorings into this album is so cool to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 100%. That's what made this so much more enjoyable for me. Just the fact that yeah, you can kind of put your own personal stamp on things, and also have the creative control to um, come up with the album artwork and what we do in the music videos and all the inner sleeve artwork and stuff. So yeah, I felt like it was a good opportunity to try and inject a bit more personality into a musical project than I have done before.
So, in speaking of that, is there any particular examples where you can really tell it's your own influences and styles that are going into a particular part of a song on this album?
Um, that's a tough one. I think because it's an amalgamation of really of what I came up with along with Shaz D, who did the song structure and everything. So I think there's a few opportunities where I kind of shine through with ideas that I kind of wanted to implement in Dragonforce's music before. There's definitely numerous occasions where there's a lot of kind of ad lib vocals that might not suit power metal. They're maybe more suited towards the poppier side, but obviously in a kind of power metal voice. So I got to do that, a few times on a few different songs. Also, playing guitar solos as well. Managed to squeeze in a couple of my solos. They were all kind of lined up for guests to do them, and I was like, "Nah, I'm going to take a few of these." So got to got to noodle about on the guitar a bit as well. So yeah. I think there's definitely a lot more sort of sections that have come from me, and you can probably hear that a bit. I mean, quite what that sound is, I don't really know, but there's
Oh, for sure. And I'm glad you brought up your guitar playing as well too, because you were magnificent when I hear you on the album and you're able to do the solos on there. It's amazing what you're
Thank you.
accomplishing on here. It's just so cool to see you actually be able to show that in a bigger spectrum now, being able to show off what you can do on the guitar.
Yeah. So it was a perfect opportunity to do this kind of thing. And with Dragonforce, there's no room for any other guitar player, which is kind of fair enough. So yeah, I was happy to do it, and it was it's also really enjoyable because I was a guitar player before I was a singer, and the singing thing just kind of happened to me. So I've always been looking for an opportunity to play. At the last few tours with Dragonforce, I've managed to squeeze in some video game covers. I don't know if you've ever seen us play those, but yeah, I managed to find my place to play a little bit live as well.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, over the last several years, I haven't been able to. The last time I was able to catch you guys when you were playing with Camelot in
Okay.
Minneapolis. That was the last tour I was able to see. But every time I was able to see you before that and up to that point was incredible shows. And the fact that you're throwing in video game covers now, like I'm definitely gonna have to try to make it out to the new tour to see what's gonna be a part of that.
Yeah. The last couple of tours I've been playing Dracula's Castle from Symphony of the Night, and
Oh,
then
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's a fucking bop. And then the battle theme from Final Fantasy VII as well. So that was my little medley on the last tour. But I got to think of some new shit because we've got a new tour coming up, and I can't keep playing those songs. So
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I
yeah.
want to get to that at the end of this, talk about some Dragonforce stuff. But
Mhm.
what I would love to talk about here is the diversity of this album, which I appreciate so much because obviously it's got the power metal tinges that's going on through there, but you got some great piano driven ballads on here. You got some nice, more poppy moments that are going on throughout here. I love hearing the diversity, especially that first listen I got of the album. I had no idea what to expect because there's so many different changes, and that just made me so excited to hear it because I love not knowing what's going to be coming next.
Yeah, no, totally. That's exactly what we were going for. Like for this album, there were actually about 15 songs that we'd been playing with for quite a long time. And when it came to actually choosing which ones would be on the album, that was a very careful decision to try and keep the pacing and the flow of the album, walking that fine line between sort of being unpredictable, but also what's the word? Um, Kind of taking you on a journey where everything is somehow interconnected. So I think same as you. I was really pleased with the way it flowed when you listen to it from start to finish. But yeah, that was kind of a conscious effort to make that happen. But I'm glad you pick up on it because that's one of the things that I feel as well when I listen to somebody else's album. Like if it's all the same stuff, it's like okay, great. I mean, at some point you need your ups and downs, like during the journey, and I think that's something we delivered here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, with that, it's like that's the importance of albums from start to finish that I love so much. It's just like that balancing act that you have to do with the track listing and making sure everything flows together. It's not just a collection of songs, especially if you want everything to flow together. And the fact that you can go throughout the entire album and then when you restart it again, it feels like it's just doing this great loop where it feels like it's just going in a full
Yeah,
360, and that was really cool. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it fits together really well like that.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't really, I never thought in any depth about the idea of listening to it back to back, but that's cool that that happens. But yeah, you were saying about listening to an album in its entirety. The one thing I worried about with this is that I think nowadays people that listen to music, most people will just stream one song at a time and they'll listen to it all out of order. So I'm glad that you're listening to it that way because it's kind of old school. That's how I do things as well.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much the only way I do it. Like I love checking out singles, especially when there's videos behind it.
Yeah.
Particularly two fantastic videos you were able to make for singles for this album. But yeah, I am very much an album fan. I want to be able to hear every song. And even though some songs are singles and some songs are B-sides or whatever, I want to be able to enjoy everything from start to finish.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way things should be done. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of intention behind the pacing of these things and the order, so that's really cool. But the other thing as well is that with this album, it was so hard to choose the singles that I think, yeah, I was almost paralyzed by choice because I really wanted, probably there was maybe 8 of the songs I really wanted to be singles. I'm like, I mean, 2 of the songs could have been as well, but they just might not have cast as big of a net as like some of the other ones. But so that's such a tough choice. And that's the thing about singles is like I hope people don't just listen to one song and go, ah, that's what that album's like, because it's just not. There's like so much different stuff on here.
And that's exactly why I love checking out the album first and foremost, is
Yeah.
because I want to be able to hear all the depth that's going into it. And obviously the singles are meant to grab attention and everything. And of course, again, like with the videos that you were able to make for this album, it was so cool to see whether you're in the desert, whether you're in Japan, and just being able to show off the different sides of your personality. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole other spectrum when you're able to listen to everything and hear the depths that really go into it. And again, like Swan Song is a great example. It doesn't sound anything like the singles, but it hits just as hard in different ways.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like that song, I would love to be a single, but when when uh when considering the kind of fans that I'm probably going to be taking from, not taking from, but that'll come over from Dragonforce. If they heard Swan Song first, they might go, ah, this whole album's just going to be ballads or whatever. So like, that's why it's such a difficult choice to like which foot do you put first, so that's why Astrolive actually was the first video, because I thought that sounds the most like Dragonforce. So therefore, hopefully, Dragonforce fans won't be too alienated by it. They'll be intrigued to check out the rest, and then I can surprise them with all these other kind of songs, like once they buy the album.
Oh, couldn't agree more. And I think there were great choices to be able to show off. So
Cool,
thinking about
thanks.
that a little bit deeper, like what was it like to make the videos for those particular songs?
So I mean, it's quite an interesting story. Yeah, basically, we flew out to Spain to do the songs, the south of Spain. Um, I won't say anything bad about the way that the things were shot, but put it this way, it was very difficult for me to create the videos at the end, um, just by some kind of complications that we ran into with the people doing it. But it was definitely fun, and it was really cool to like get a full drum kit up into the mountain and like play that for Astro Live. And actually the next song that's coming out, I'm doing another video which I'm literally editing and rendering it now. That one's coming out before the 25th, but I'm not entirely sure what the date will be. um that one is like in an even cooler location where I actually went to the top of a mountain. Like I'm literally in the clouds. But we were trying to go for the most power metal kind of environments that we could find. And obviously you've got the choice of, you could do a green screen video, but I think ultimately you can't really beat the real thing. And it was fun to do, going into a studio and just like singing in front of a green screen isn't really that enjoyable. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
Oh, I'm so excited to check out that video when that comes out. I mean, just from that little description that you gave right there, I just can't wait to see what song it's going to be, how it's all used together in a video. That just sounds so cool.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, I can't wait, because this one, the other videos were kind of edited by somebody else, and then I kind of fixed them at the end. This video, I've just said, give me all the files, I'm just doing it. So I know for a fact that this is better than the ones before. But even though it's involved me learning how to do video editing in the space of about a week. But yeah, the environments and stuff where it's filmed kind of carry the song, and well, the song carries everything, but it's all very complimentary, I think. And yeah, it's pretty epic. That's the word I'd use for it.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, again, I can't wait for that. But,
Cool.
talking about that as well too, like, video editing of you mentioned that, that you've been learning that over the course of the week, and, of course, you have the vision of what you want this to be edited like. I mean, how is that for you to be able to pick up on something so quickly?
I mean, like it's like everything. There's so many YouTube tutorials about anything these days. You can just go online and pretty much learn how to do whatever you want. But yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle though because ultimately, you can only edit a video that's as good as the footage that was shot. So I've been, trying to be creative with my cuts and edits and stuff. But it's cool. It's just another little skill that I've learned that's I'm sure going to come in useful later on. And actually, it turns out that it's really quite fun. Like I almost prefer making videos than making albums. You get the result much quicker, and it's kind of like it's just pretty fun. So yeah, I've totally enjoyed doing it. But in an ideal world, it would have already been done for me. But that's in the past now.
Oh, sure. But yeah, I'm glad that you get to be hands-on with this one and really make this one your own. And for the future, I mean, that would definitely help as well if you ever want to take control of the editing or anything else that comes into doing videos again.
Yeah, that's it. I think now I definitely know like what I would want, and if I could go back in time and do them again, I would make sure that uh storyboard the whole thing and get it all just right. So yeah, it's been cool to learn that, and kind of learning from these little minor mistakes that were made here and there. But yeah, as long as the end result is cool, then that's all I care about, and it definitely is for this next one. So yeah.
Oh, so cool. And another thing that I love so much about the album visually is the album cover. Like you were able to show off in physical form in the beginning of this. I
Uh-huh.
love the album cover. I think it just fits so perfectly for the album. How did that all come together?
So basically, I wanted the album to uh look like a video game that I haven't heard of before. And I'm definitely like a big fan of like 90s JRPGs, like Final Fantasy series, Xenogears, Chrono Trigger, all those kind of things. So for the logo, I tried to make that look as much like one of those game logos as I could. And then I wanted the actual artwork itself to be kind of looking like the music is this kind of ray of light that's coming through the clouds onto like a broken world below. And I've kind of chosen a post-apocalyptic Tokyo setting for the bottom, just as a little nod to the kind of Japanese influence of the whole thing. But yeah, I got a really talented artist to actually legit make the whole front cover. So it was like an artist I've been following for a while on Instagram. Who does her name's Shilin. She does like a web series and stuff like that, and loads of anime stuff. So that's pretty much how that came about. And yeah, I'm really happy with the result. Like it does actually look like a video game, and I think that's exactly what I was going for. So pretty pleased with it.
Oh, totally. So to sidetrack a little bit with that, obviously with gaming being a huge influence on you, whether you're playing it live, whether you're writing songs about it or playing it yourself, like, is
Mhm.
there any games that you're currently playing right now?
I'm playing one game like far too much, so much so that like I'm not playing other games that I'd like to play. But I'm playing a game called Hunt Showdown. You ever heard about it?
I've heard the name.
Okay, it's like a first person like multiplayer game, but uh, kind of like Call of Duty, but with zombies and stuff. It's really
Oh,
good, but
cool.
it's just so addictive that it's like a problem now. But yeah, other games I'm playing Xenogears at the moment on my PlayStation Vita, and I was just about to re-download Fallout 4 and play that again.
Funny enough, I just got done doing a full playthrough of Fallout 4 a couple months ago.
Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was playing it a PlayStation 5 through PS4 backwards compatibility, but yeah, I think it still really holds up. I mean, obviously it's got the Bethesda bugs and everything, of course, with that little charm to it, but it's
yeah.
really fun to go back and play those sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I like all the Bethesda bugs. Like the more
I
buggy,
do
the more
too.
fun it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
like in Skyrim, and then all of a sudden you just shoot up throughout the map when you get hit by a giant. It's great.
yeah, exactly. Or just putting pots on people's heads, like they definitely didn't expect people would do that. But yeah, I love all those kind of jankiness that's in those Bethesda games.
Yeah, that's why I'm so curious about what Starfield is going to be about in a couple weeks. Like, what kind of Bethesda bugs are going to be a part of that, and just it's the laughs that come with that, the unexpected moments that come from that, obviously with bugs. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to check that out in a few weeks.
Yeah, is it being released in a few weeks? I'm not really up to date on
September
it.
6th it'll be coming out.
Oh no shit. Okay. I think that is that not Xbox exclusive on
Uh,
PC?
yeah, yeah, I think it's PC and Xbox Game Pass that'll be through.
Right, that's my problem. I'm PS5, so I might have to get an Xbox.
Oh, oh yeah, that thankfully I was able to get both. I got the Xbox Series S for mostly Xbox ones, but I mainly play on PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's now's the time I'm going to get one because yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth it. So
Oh, for sure. So, thinking about that as well too. I mean, obviously, there's a lot going on in your world right now, from video editing to promoting the new album to gearing up for the new Dragonforce tour. I mean, what is that like? I mean, obviously, with a new album on the horizon and the new tour, like, how's it been going on the Dragonforce side?
so yeah, I mean it's been busy. I'm actually going into the studio probably tonight to finish off some stuff. But yeah, we've been working on an album for a while now, and obviously trying to play some shows in between. Got a few festivals. We just did one last weekend, and then we got one this weekend. Then obviously the big tour. So yeah, we need to basically finish all that up. We've basically finished everything. It's just a case of like polishing the final product, and then hopefully playing some of the songs. Well, we definitely will be playing the songs on the next tour. So kind of like learning a new set list and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been busy, and it's been very hard to juggle this yeah, Dragon Force along with my stuff and all the other things that go with it. So I'm kind of actually looking forward to the simple life of just doing a Dragon Force tour because all this stuff will be behind me.
Oh, for sure. And it's such a killer lineup that you guys are going to be going on tour for. I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a solid bill from start to finish every night.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's four great bands. Like, I mean, three great bands and then us. But but yeah, I think it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be like a full evening of like good fucking power metal. So I don't think the fans can complain.
Oh, totally. And that's what I've always loved about you guys. Like every time I was ever able to see you guys hitting through Minnesota, it's always been on very eclectic, but bands that fit together so well with you guys. And I love that you guys continue to do that, whether you're doing main support, whether you're doing headlining, whatever the case is, it always works so well.
Yeah, that's it. Like we do take a lot of care in choosing who we're going to tour with, and obviously you want there to be enough of a crossover of fans for people to stick around for the whole thing and actually enjoy it. But at the same time, it is cool to also tour with bands that are not too similar, just so that you feel like you have a bit of diversity throughout the night in terms of genres and stuff. But I think the lineup we've got for this one is going to be pretty cool because obviously Nano War of Steel are quite different from the other bands, and then Amaranthi are kind of slightly different from us, but there's enough commonality between them. I think that most people will know of all the bands and probably like them.
Oh, for sure. So, going a little bit again with like, obviously, you mentioned yourself that you're still doing a little bit of work on the new Dragon Force album, and of course, promoting the new solo album. I mean, what is that like for you mentally to go like back and forth in between these different albums?
Um, I mean, honestly, it's pretty difficult, and there's a lot of behind the scenes crap involved with making an album that I did not anticipate. I mean, it's just normal stuff that like I probably should have anticipated, but there's a lot of it. So it's not just make the music, click send, and then it's finished. There's so much stuff after that. So it's been quite hard to juggle that with also having deadlines from Dragonforce saying, well, we need to push this forward. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm just trying to figure out which one to kind of do on which day kind of thing. So yeah, it's been a lot, but I think, it's one of those things where although it's been very difficult, I've learned so much through doing it. So, if there's ever a next album or, the next time I do a Dragon Force album, I'm kind of prepped now. I know what's involved, like, so yeah, it's been interesting, but tiring.
Oh yeah. Without necessarily needing to get into specifics with that, if there is anything to keep hush hush about, like, is there any particular examples of what you learned from this experience?
Um, Let me think. So just yeah, like I mean, I would say that just yeah, like I said, so from the moment the album is finished to uh your regular Joe who's thinking about making an album, you might think that that's the end of it, but there's just so many extra hurdles afterwards, which are all in my best interest to jump over. So I have to do it. But like creating the album artwork, all the pages, getting it all formatted, everything printed, having a deluxe edition and all this different editions and stuff. Then music video editing, interviews, which are obviously a good thing, and just there's a whole host of stuff. And yeah, it's like I guess if I was a band, you could kind of separate this work between all 5 or 6 members, but when it's just one person, it's just like a lot of stuff. So yeah, those are the things I didn't really anticipate, but that's I guess because I was pretty naive to the whole thing. But yeah,
Well, it is always good to learn new utilities for your tool builds and being able to help in different situations because you never know what's going to be happening in the future where your expertise might be able to save something. So, being able to learn
absolutely.
video editing, being able to learn all these different situations, there's a lot of trials and tribulations that come from that, but it can definitely help in the future.
Yeah, that's it. These are all skills that are now in my back pocket that I can kind of, whip out if I need to. So it's all been for the greater good, I suppose. It's just kind of interesting to see the reality versus what you think it is, kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. And I think with that, I think that's an amazing note to end on. Being able to learn and be able to have more in the creative process, and whether you're doing a solo album, whether you're working with a full band, or whatever else happens in the future. I'm glad to see the spot that you're in right now. It seems like there's a lot of awesome things that are going on right now. A lot of struggles, of course, that goes along with that. But I'm glad to see the final products are turning out so well. Obviously, with the new album coming out next Friday, it's just absolutely incredible from start to finish. And I'm looking forward to see
Cool.
what you guys are doing in Dragonforce as well. When the light of day comes with that, and of course the new North American tour, which is so cool to see that you guys are going to be heading out in just a couple months now. There's so much to look forward to, and I just want to thank you for taking the time amidst all of the chaos that's going on right now.
Cool, man. No problem at all. Thanks for the interview. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed the album and that we're able to have an interesting conversation about like what you really thought about it. Because a lot of people just listen to it and then just ask generic questions, and I get the impression they haven't really digested it, but you definitely have. So I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I have no questions in front of me. I like having a real conversation. I love being able to
Yeah,
go back and forth. And, a conversation might turn a different direction and it might lead to a better conversation and going along with that rather than ideas I had in my mind. So I love doing this. I love getting to know deeper about the album, about yourself, your process, and how you do things. This is my favorite
cool.
way to do it. And yeah, I'm
Nice.
glad I was able to break up the monotony a little bit instead of the
Yeah, yeah,
standard formal Q&A.
yeah. No, that's cool, man. No, I like what you're doing. You're doing it the right way, I think. So keep it up.
Oh, awesome. Well, I just want to thank you again. This is actually my 896th interview I've done over the last 12 years. So
Wow.
I just want to thank you again for taking the time to do this. This is an interview I've always wanted to do, whether it was Dragon Force or now doing solo work now. It
Yeah.
was just great to be able to get your mindset and everything. And there's so much to look forward to, and I can't wait to show this off.
Cool. Nice one, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Oh, not a problem. Have a great rest of the day.
Cool. Cheers, man. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.